Hey, howdy everybody, and welcome to your Building Better Form follow-up, making workflow work for you. Um, so happy to have you all here. I know that you guys just came off of a lunch or a break in between sessions. I do want to make sure that you all still have a snack, a crispy Diet Coke, some kind of caffeine, or a good bottle of water, because we are one of the longer sessions for today. So I want to make sure that you guys are feeling good and are staying with us through the whole session. All right. For today, you get to hang out with two really awesome ladies with FormAssembly. I am Lindsay. My new title is Onboarding Optimization Strategist. So pretty cool. I work directly with customers on getting them onboarded into our software. I am located in Northern Colorado, and if I were a cookie, I would be a snickerdoodle.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Haley. I am a product owner on the product team. I am located in central Massachusetts. I live in the woods. I don't live in Boston. Everyone thinks of Boston, but I'm actually deep in the woods. And when I'm not building awesome products, I spend my time with family, especially my 1.5-year-old daughter, who takes up a lot of my time. She's a handful.
But the sweetest, absolute
The sweetest.
sweetest. Awesome. Well, with our session today, not only will you have the ability to ask questions in our Q&A box on the left, we also have our chat open on the right. Just a little bit of foreshadowing, we may or may not be playing a game at the end of our session that includes all of our attendees here, but that's only if you're good. So make sure you're following along and paying attention. Awesome. That being said, let's go ahead and kick off the actual information for our session today. Haley, tell us, what is workflow?
All right. Hi, everybody. Again, thanks for being here. Really appreciate your time. We're super excited. So yeah, whether you're brand new to FormAssembly or you've been poking around the platform and wondering what that workflow button does, you are in the right place. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly what workflow is. You'll wonder how you ever lived without it and be empowered to start using it today. So what even is FormAssembly workflow? That's a great question. FormAssembly workflow is a visual, no-code process building interface that lets you combine forms, emails, integrations, and more into one seamless sequential data collection journey. And here's the kicker. You don't need to write a single line of code. Workflow is available on Explorer plans and Team plans and above. So if you're on one of those, you're already good to go. Okay, so what can we actually do with it? Workflow's interactive drag and drop canvas lets you leverage any of its building blocks to visualize your entire process laid out in front of you. It's like a flowchart, but one that actually does things. It's pretty cool. A workflow starts with a form, which you can build and customize using our no-code form builder. From field validation down to colors to match your organization's branding, it's got it all. Your respondents fill out your first form to kickstart your workflow. Conditional routing means you can send respondents down different paths based on their answers. Automated email notifications fire off at exactly the right moment, keeping respondents and team members informed without you lifting a finger. Connector steps let you trigger integrations with Salesforce, HubSpot, and several more right inside the workflow. Create custom page redirects so you don't leave your respondent hanging, and give them a seamless experience. Form-to-form pre-filling is a crowd favorite. Data from one form automatically populates the next one, so your respondents aren't typing the same thing over and over again. Take control of your process with approval steps, and create and sign custom documents seamlessly with our advanced document generation and e-signature steps. You can also monitor workflow responses in real time, spot anything that's stalled, and reprocess errors from one central dashboard. And if you ever get stuck, we have links to our knowledge base on each step to help you along the way. So why should you care? We get it. You might be thinking, I already have forms. Why do I need a workflow? But here's the thing. Individual forms are great for simple tasks. But the moment your process involves multiple steps, multiple people, or multiple systems, things can get messy. Emails get lost, spreadsheets multiply. Workflow can fix all of that. Conditional routing sends the right information to the right people at the right time. No manual nudging required. Whether you're collecting data from 5 people over 5 days, workflow handles all the orchestration so you don't have to. Sensitive data stays in controlled, auditable channels with role-based access and built-in audit trails. Build processes that follow HIPAA, GDPR, or internal policies from start to finish. Automated email notifications and multi-participant support mean everyone stays in the loop without you having to chase anybody down. And finally, less time on manual handoffs, as we all love, means more time for the work that actually matters. So I know this has been a lot of talk and technical definitions of workflow, but truly the best way to learn workflow is to build one. So without further ado, I'll pass it off to Lindsay to dive into the fun stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Haley. Okay. Like Haley said, the best way to learn it is by doing it. So we are going to go through a few different use cases today, really showcasing some of the really awesome workflow features and how to do them, how to read them. So the one that I chose for our example today is a survey. I'm sure no matter what industry you are in, you have a survey of some kind, whether it's a customer or a client feedback survey or an employee survey. So that's what we're going to start with today. Really, the question that we want to answer is, let's say we want different things to happen based on if we have a good survey result or a bad survey result. And the way we're going to do that is we have a form that has a hidden calculated field that's going to calculate a score based off of how they answer questions, and then a yes/no question based on their follow-up preferences. Now, this is not hypothetical. I am definitely going to show you this form, so don't worry. But then we are going to create conditional pathways that really have different things happen, right? We want a different message to show whether it's considered a good or a bad survey result. We want different follow-ups. So that's what we're going to be creating today. I'm going to start off by sharing our basic feedback form. I'm going to say those scary words, which are, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. Giving it a second to catch up. All right. So we've got our basic feedback survey, which has, a save and resume enabled. We've got generic contact details here. And then we have a series of 10 different questions rated 1 through 10. And if I start answering these questions, boop, 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 beautiful, it was great, we can see that this hidden, and I'm using air quotes, you can't see them, hidden survey score is going to determine what that total is depending on how they answer their questions. Ideally, right, in real life, this would actually be hidden. You wouldn't want your respondents to see this part, but for you guys, I want you to be able to see it. And then we have a question here about, would you like to be contacted about your experience? And that's going to come into play later. So this is the form we're going to start with. We're going to go into our FormAssembly account, where we can go to the left-hand side and just click New Workflow. We're going to start with a blank workflow. And ta-da, we are in our workflow interface. It looks a bit different from your regular interface, but that's okay. We'll just give it a quick little title here. I'm going to call it title. Oh gosh, I'm starting off early. Can't type. That's going to be fun. Okay, so we're going to call it title. I'm going to go ahead and click save. That way our options open up on the left-hand side here. With a workflow, you do have to start with a form. So what we're going to do is, since we already created our feedback form, we are just going to import it into our workflow. So I'm just going to select the form. You can see that whenever I select something from our workflow visual here, it does open up a properties panel on the right. And that's where we're actually going to configure and set up everything for that step. My general best practice is, once you create a step, just go tab by tab to make sure that you have everything configured fully. For this, I'm just going to call this step name the survey step. There we go. I'm going to click configure. This is where I actually choose my form. This is the survey. All right, this is where things start getting pretty cool. This is where you can actually import settings that you already have configured on your form level. So this is that save and resume. I could choose to enable that. I could do a form level Salesforce connector or my thank you pages or notifications. For this example, I'm just going to import our save and resume, hit confirm, and we can see that it went ahead and built out those steps for me. Now we get into what I really like to call reading the workflow or reading the process. And if you take anything from this call, please let it be that this is a very important part of building out your workflow. And that's just going step by step and reading what's happening. So we're going to do that a couple times during our process in this use case, but also in the next one that Haley's going to show you. So we've got our initial survey step. If they click save and resume, they're going to go down the right-hand pathway here, where we have the form save confirmation page, the confirmation email that they receive saying, hey, click the link to resume your form. And then once they click the link to resume their form, we have this go to step, which will send them back up to the top to continue their survey. And when they actually hit submit, they're going to go down the left-hand path to whatever we determine is next. What we can see is anytime we want to add a step, you just go to your little blue plus sign. That could be anywhere where that blue plus sign is available on your workflow. But what do we want? What do we want next? Remember, our use case is if it's a good survey, we want it, certain messaging. If we want a different messaging for a bad survey. So I'm just going to click add step. And I apologize, I know it's tiny, so I'm going to zoom in as much as possible, but also know that you're going to get this recording. So if you'd like to recreate this on your own, you can absolutely follow along with that recording. All right, first thing, we are going to select a conditional pathway. You can see that's what branches off. It's very similar to conditional logic on your form level, except we are sending down different pathways as opposed to showing different questions. So what we can do here, I'm going to go ahead and add another path. Remember, we add a step and then we configure it. That's the word. We configure it on the right-hand side. So path 1, we're going to click configure, and I'm just going to say, this is the good survey, smiley face. Very good. Then we define our rules. And in this case, that's going to be that hidden calculated field. So I'm just going to go to my form field. I'm going to choose that survey score. In this case, I'm going to say is greater than or equal to, let's call it 80. And if we needed additional rules, we could add those here, but we don't. So we're going to go to path 2, where we say this is bad. Oh, sad face. Bad survey. They didn't have a good time. So we will do the same thing. We'll go to our form field. We're going to select the survey score. And this time we're going to say is less than or equal to 79. So anything 79 or below is going to go down this bad pathway. Now you might be saying, Lindsay, you keep saying path 1, path 2, good, bad, but I see 3 pathways. You would be correct. I'm not here to gaslight you. You are seeing 3 pathways. And that's because we have this one at the end called no conditions met. And I like to use no conditions met as more of like a fail safe. Something weird happens with the calculation, or they refresh weird, or something strange happens, right? We probably just want to, we could add a step here and add a page redirect that just says, oops, something went wrong. Please refresh and try again, or please contact this person, right? So we could have a message set there. Most likely no one's ever going to go down this pathway, but it is there just in case. I also sometimes use it as kind of like a yes-no pathway, which you'll see later in our example. Okay, now let's start determining. Oh, I'm going to click save just so I don't forget. There we go. We are going to determine what do we want to happen when they go down the good pathway. So they had a really good time. Let's say we want them to get a thank you message. So this is the good thank you. If I click configure, hey, thanks so much for your feedback. We really appreciate it. Always know that we're here for you, and be on the lookout for an email from us that contains a coupon. Yeah, maybe we want to send them a coupon for their feedback. What we could then do is we can add a step, and we have our email step, so our outgoing email step here. Let's call this our coupon email. We hit configure. And we want to make sure that this coupon email goes to the person who filled out this survey. So what we would do is we go to our little function friend, our little formula F right here. We go into our fields, and then we choose the email field. What that's going to do is pull the what's called the alias for that specific field. And whatever email is put into that field is where this email is going to go. From there, you can have different sender emails. You can adjust the email subject line. You could attach a PDF of the form response. Or in Haley's example, you'll see that you can attach like custom document generation steps here. And then you can customize the email content. So maybe you want to add their first name, so customize it to whatever makes the most sense for you. But then let's say we also want to notify our team that we have a survey. We could just add another step, and we could add another email step. So we can have more than one email step in each pathway. We're just going to do the same thing. Let's call this the team email. Sorry guys, I can't, it's fine. Who cares? Okay, so going into configure here, again, you're just going to send it you would change it to the team. Maybe this time you want to attach the survey step, and then you can keep going with your email content. Beautiful. Now that's what we want to happen if it is a good survey result. Let's go ahead and now determine what we want to happen if it's a bad survey result. And we all know bad isn't bad. Bad just means feedback, but it makes more sense to explain it this way. So let's say that we want more information from this respondent. So they fill out this survey step, and if they have had a bad experience, we want to ask them additional questions. So what we may do if I click add step is maybe I add another form that has those questions on it. So I just add our form step, I hit configure. In this case, I'm just going to add my survey form again, but you would ideally have your next steps questions. You can import those settings if you'd like. And then, like I said, we go tab by tab. But wait, there's 2 additional tabs. You're right. Anytime you have a subsequent form or any form that comes after the first form, you get these really awesome secondary tabs. The first one is assignment. And so that's saying, hey, who needs to fill out this second form? By default, it is set to assign to previous form respondent. And what that means is whoever filled out this form is going to be filling out this form. And if there is no redirect on the pathway in between the first form and second form, the user experience really is just that it's the next page of the form. So that's kind of what the respondent is going to see, which makes it really nice. That makes it feel like they're not going down any type of different pathway. They're just answering the next questions. For other use cases, you may want to assign a secondary form with a specific email address, maybe sending it to the manager of the team. or you can assign dynamically with a form field. So kind of how we pulled the email field for the email step, we can do that the same with our form assignment. And with that, the last tab that we also have is the form to form prefill. So if we wanted to take information from this first form and just pop it into this second form, all we have to do is map them. So instead of having to send it to another endpoint and pull it back, you just add that in. Cool. So now that I saved again, I am going to see what we want to do next. All right, so we sent the basic feedback. We have the secondary information. Now, if you remember, we have that other question, right? That would you like to be contacted about your experience? What we can do is now add another conditional here. So we branch again. So we branched and then we branched again. And then we just create the pathways that say configure here. Yes, please contact. And then the no conditions met will function as they did not select yes, meaning they selected no, and they do not want to be contacted. So again, we just define our rules. Sorry, I keep saying again, I caught myself. I guess that's the word of the day. So here, again, we just use our form field. I'm going to scroll and then I'm going to choose the would you like to be contacted about your experience? We'll say equals and yes. Then what do we want to happen if they select yes? Most likely, we want them to receive a specific page redirect. So we give them their thank you page. We say, thank you so much for your feedback. A member of our team will be in touch within the next 2 business days. That's the page redirect that they will get. And then we need to notify the team that they need to reach out and schedule a time to get in touch or call this customer. So we'll just choose email, and then we would just send it to the team. And then if they do not want to be contacted, maybe we just send them a different thank you message. So add that page redirect and say, thank you for your feedback. We greatly value it, and that's how we get better. And also, we're always here for you. Whatever you want that page redirect to say. And then you just continue, right? So everything that we've gone through here, you just continue to do to make it fit your process. So if, for example, you collect survey results in Salesforce, you could easily come up to the very top here and add a Salesforce connector. So you could come in and you could add a connector step. You could add a Salesforce connector where you find the contact from the contact information and then create a new CSAT record, or whatever your process dictates, you can customize with this workflow process. Now, our next use case, you're going to get a lot of practice learning more about your reading of your workflows. So I'm going to go ahead and pass over to Haley for our next use case.
All right. Thanks, Lindsay. As you can see, Lindsay did a great job kind of laying the groundwork of the building blocks we spoke about for workflow. I don't know about you guys, but I'm impressed with the typing speed that she has. But yeah, well, I'll kind of take it a step further with this next use case to kind of put some of that in practice with a project approval example use case. It's going to use some of the concepts that Lindsay had shown, such as conditionals, basically to route your respondents down certain paths based off of a field in your form and the rule that you set. But I'm going to, show in a path that takes you down an approval step. So you can assign an approval to a certain person in your account to approve over a certain cost of the project. And then I'm also going to show, as Lindsay alluded to, our e-signature step using a form PDF. So this is just a single signature on a form PDF. It is not a custom document, but I will just kind of put it out there that if you're interested in diving a little bit more into advanced document generation, custom documents, and e-signature, you can join our next session, which is going to go dive more into detail there. But I'll show you our basic e-signature, single signature that is currently available as an add-on for Explorer plans and is available in Teams and above. All right, that being said, I'll take the screen. Okay, so here you'll see our canvas of our project approval workflow. It looks similar to what Lindsay was showing. You know, we have your flow chart like visual here. So I'll kind of walk you through, this one's already built, obviously. I'll walk you through what this one's doing and then we'll try it out. So here we are starting off with a form, right? And we can just take a quick peek at what this form is asking. So we have, you know, the respondent's going to give you this basic information, the project name, who's requesting it, their email, they're going to use to contact in our email steps, the date of the project, and then estimated cost. This cost field is what we're going to drive decisions based off of in our workflow. So that once your respondent fills out the form, they're going to be redirected to a thank you page, letting them know that they'll get a decision back soon on their request. Then we hit the conditional. So this is where it's driving it based off of that cost field in the form. So if the request is under $500, we're going to send an automatic approval email. Okay, you're good to go, and let them know through an email. And that is configured to send to as Lindsay mentioned in her other demo, we configured this to send to the email field on the form. So whoever is filling that out, the requester will get that email. Similarly, if it is approved through the approval process for $500, or sorry, I should start here, denied, they'll get an email saying it's denied. Same thing, this is configured to that same email address. So they'll, you know, if it follows the denied path under the approval step, if the approver denies it, then they'll get the notification through email. But then if it's over 500 and it hits the approval step and it's approved, that's what we're going to do in a second. It'll then hit an e-signature step. And this is where here you can configure your document to be signed, which in this case is your form PDF, and assign someone to sign this. You can choose a form field or type in a static value. So I just use my email for purpose of this demo. And then we're going to send an email again to the requester. This time we're going to actually attach in the email, we're going to attach that signed PDF and let them know that their project was approved with that signed request. And then we're also, just for record keeping purposes, going to send that signed PDF to our Google Drive folder that I have set up here. I authorized it and configured this just to send to my testing folder. So I'll show that as well. So I'll go ahead and kick this off to kind of show this flow. So we're going to have a pizza party. This is our project. It's going to be a pizza party project. I am requesting it, and I'm going to put my email as the requester, so all of those configurations will come to me. Then we just looked at the project date. I'm going to put as the 30th because that is actually my birthday. So we're going to be having a pizza party on my birthday. And it's going to be a big one. It's going to be lots of pizza. So I'm going to say it's $900. And I'm going to submit that request. And then as the respondent filling out the form, I get this redirect page step, letting me know that I'll be contacted if my request was approved. So then we kind of come over back to our workflow just to reference. We've hit this step, and now because the cost was over $500, we're going to hit this approval step. So the approver is emailed. You'll see my email come in right here because I assign myself as the approver. I'm going to hit review approval. It's going to open up FormAssembly where I can see the request, the details of the request from the form, and I'm going to say, okay, Haley deserves a pizza party. We're going to approve that and submit it. So now that has been approved. Again, if we go back to our flow here, it's going to follow this path, was approved. And then it's going to go out for signature, just to sign have that officially signed being over budget. So I did also assign myself as the signer. So I get another email from FormAssembly that is a document awaiting my signature. If I click review document in my email, it brings me to a document viewer where, sorry, I'm super zoomed in so you guys can see it, so it looks wonky. But I will draw my signature here, and I'll finish that, and it closes out the document viewer, lets me know it was a success. I'll get a copy of that. And I was the only signer on that document, so I did get a copy. Just any signer that is on the e-signature step will get a copy of this, and they can access the completed document and an audit trail of that signature, and they can view the audit or download the audit log or view or download the document. But in the workflow, if you remember, we sent out an email to the requester as well, just with a copy of that signed PDF, and send it to Google Drive. So let's go ahead and check my email again to make sure I got a copy. It does take a second sometimes because it has an attachment. So I'm going to go over here and show the Google Drive step. And you'll see that the connector ran, it attached this PDF, signed PDF with the response details here, and uploaded it to my document folder that I configured. And gotta love live demos, am I right? It does take a second. I don't know, sometimes with the attachments, unless I saved something when I was playing around, because that would be my luck. But this should be going out to me. Let me just check my configuration. Yeah, it might just be taking, oh, here it is. See, we just have to be patient. Sorry about that. Like I said, sometimes when you attach things, it does take a second, but you'll see that it does, that email step did run, and we got the same thing we just showed in the Google Drive folder, but a copy here for the requester. They'll see their request, the cost that it was signed and approved in their email. And then, as I mentioned before, you can review all this in your workflow responses, if I could find the page. So if you go over to the left-hand nav on your workflow, you can hit responses. I guess I did change something. Maybe it'll save it. And you'll see that this is the response that just completed. If you view it, you can see all the details to, like I said, kind of monitor that entire flow end to end. You'll see the form response was completed in the time, and by who, the approval step, who approved it, what time, that it completed sending to the Google Drive connector, and then we also can see that signed PDF e-signature that we had ran. And this, you can actually go, if you lose the email, or if you just want to look at it later, for example, you can also go in here and view from the response itself that document, or download it. So that is all I've got for this example. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'll pass it back to Lindsay for a second.
Awesome. Thank you. We are playing screen share ping pong today, but we are going into our game. You guys have asked some really awesome questions in the Q&A that we'll be able to get to at the end of our presentation. But now we're going to ask for some participation from the audience. So the chat that you see on the right-hand side of your screen, that is going to be used for our Mad Libs style activity. Now, if you're familiar with Mad Libs or not, what they are is actually, it's a word-based, almost like a fill in the blank, right? So we're going to ask questions like for adjectives or nouns or verbs, and then we're going to take those words, and then we're going to have our document generation feature insert them into a story that we do not know. And then we'll be able to read that story together. It's going to create just a funny little story. And with this use case, it was created as internally with FormAssembly as an employee engagement activity. So maybe one of those things that you don't quite think of, but I would like to remind everybody that forms can be fun. So we gamified it. And what we'll do is Haley's going to share her screen while we walk through the activity together. When we're asking for words and things like that, please, please, please throw those in the attendee chat. And then we'll pick from those words. And then whenever we're done, I'll show you what the workflow looks like on the back end. And then we will read the story all together. So Haley, go ahead and share your screen and we'll get started.
Okay. It's going to be interesting attendee chat. Lots of verbs and nouns.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay. As Lindsay said, we're going to have some fun. This is going to be great. Okay. So we're going to put my email in just because it's explaining on the form that the email provider will be sent the end result, which we'll read together after. Okay. So we have an option here. This is spoiler conditional path, but based off of what we choose here, it's going to give us a different story. So we'll take some votes. If you guys want to put in the chat, just throw out some numbers, what we're thinking, any opinions.
All right, let's see. Oh, looks like we got a couple. Yeah, we got a couple in the Q&A as well. Let's look like story one. Let's do story one.
All right, let's do it. Story one.
Oh my gosh, I love the audience. You guys are so awesome. I can already tell this is going to be an incredible, incredible story. Awesome. Okay, if you wouldn't mind just zooming in just a little bit so that we can see.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. And then this is going to go fast, everybody. So I'm not sure if you were looking forward to an English lesson in your FormAssembly demo today, but we're going to ask for, adjectives, which are going to be those descriptive words: hot, cold, blue, slimy, whatever, nouns, person, place, or thing, things like that. So, all right. That being said, Haley, let's do it. What's our first word? All right, we need an adjective. All right, start throwing them in the chat. What are some descriptive words?
My autofill is giving you guys hints, but let's get creative here.
Shiny.
Shiny, love it. Okay.
All right, and then we need a type of food. Oh, I saw jelly beans in the chat earlier. Yeah, somebody had some jelly beans.
Perfect.
Oh, adjective 2, I see prickly. I really like prickly. Awesome. Okay, a plural noun. So, tacos. I see.
Oh, that was all
tacos
caps.
is a plural noun. Okay, we got a family member. So a member of the family.
I just see chicken.
I also see I see Aunt Mildred.
Oh, I love it. Perfect. Okay.
Beautiful. Okay, next one is verb ending in ing. Think dancing, swimming. Love, love, love. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Looks like our chat's just a little bit slow. Ooh,
yeah, I think
spelunking.
Oh, I saw vom. Oh, what was that one? I saw vomiting, but I like the other one too.
Do it.
I like spelunking. Let's do that one. I like
spelunking. Stunning. Okay, another type of food. I saw up here we had quite a bunch of different types of. We had raw oysters. That was fun.
Delicious. Okay.
Incredible. You guys are so creative. I'm seeing bamboozling. Oh, I love. Okay.
I'm looking at
another adjective. So a descriptive word. Let's see here. Descriptive word. We have so many. There's I see thorny.
Thorny. I love
thorny.
It. That's creative. Okay.
Incredible. Okay, a type of drink. Come on, guys. I know you guys got lots of different types of drinks. Stunning. All right, I'm seeing margarita.
Okay, I love it. We already had margarita too. We already used that one. Perfect. Okay.
Beautiful. You guys are, I know it's kind of long, but it's super fun. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
Yeah, we
Okay.
also are a little delayed too, so I don't want. We're taking a second because I think the messages are coming in after, but that's fine.
Yeah. You,
We'll
you
get
guys
there.
are, you guys are doing great. All right. So we need another plural noun. Puppies. Okay.
Okay.
Next one, you guys, if you can see it, we've got sweet treat. What's a little sweet treat that we want? It's so funny.
I know.
Or the
It's
chats
funny
are
because you
coming
see.
in a little
Yeah,
bit late. So
I know.
sweet treat came up and it was like scissors. Okay. Okay. So I see peach cobbler. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Specific.
That's great. Okay, next one. Type of seasoning. Type of seasoning. I can tell this audience is kind of spicy, so I'm anticipating what type of seasoning. It's coming in. Coming in. Italian.
Okay. Italian. All
Oh, I
right.
see
Great.
Zatar too. Zatar is amazing. Okay, an emotion. An emotion. How are you guys feeling about form assembly? How are we feeling? What emotion do we got? That's so funny.
They're coming. There's always that pause, and then
They're-
it'll float. Oh, excited,
Hey,
happy, yay, hungry.
hungry.
That's fine.
Let's do flabbergasted.
Okay, that's a good one.
Incredible. Okay, just a couple more words, you guys. You guys are doing great. So we need a verb, so an action word. This is so awesome.
I love it.
Let's see. Let's do crawl.
Okay.
And then plural noun. So that's a person, place, or thing with an S on the end.
I saw pounce. I'm gonna throw pounce in for that other verb here. Just
Oh, good. Good word. Good word. Oh, I see ants.
okay.
All right,
We have
last
two ants.
adjective.
Funny.
Last adjective. Descriptive word. They're coming. They're coming in. Gotta love live demos, right? Ooh, creepy.
Creepy.
That's awesome. Okay, this is going to be an incredible story. So what Haley's going to do, Haley's going to go ahead and click submit. And then I'm going to, if you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen, I'll go ahead and share mine to talk about the back end of this workflow. So I'll go ahead and do that. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. I'll give it a second to catch up. Okay. So if you remember, the very first screen that we saw was that first form that asked for the email and then what story you wanted to do. From there, we have different pathways depending on which story you chose. We went with story 1. Then we went to the form that we just filled out, which has all of the words and those fields. We submitted our form and went to a page redirect that just says thank you. Then we go into a document generation step where this is actually mapping all of the words that we put into our form into the story in the document. So this is the mapping that we did with that document generation. And then we did our outgoing email step where we send the story to the email that you put in the very first form. So with that, here, I'm going to stop sharing. And then, oh, you guys got the infinity screen. Oh, sorry. And so I'll pass it back over to Haley. But I do just want to let you guys know that in your resources, you actually have the link to this workflow so that you can continue to play. You can do the other stories, or you can do it with your teams, or, you know, just have some fun with forms. That's going to be in your resources. So we'll go ahead and read this story, and then we'll jump into answering some of your questions from the Q&A.
Okay, I'm excited. Drum roll. Let it load. Okay. So in that workflow that Lindsay showed, we had the email step configured with the email that I put in when we first started, when I submitted the form. So here we go. It's attached here as our custom document. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, everyone ready? I'm going to read it. What's for dinner? Tonight for dinner, we are having shiny jelly beans. That kind of works. I can already smell the prickly aroma of tacos coming from the kitchen. My Aunt Mildred is spelunking while preparing jelly beans, and it looks absolutely thorny. For drinks, we'll have margarita served in puppies. Interesting. Dessert will be peach cobbler topped with Italian, which is my favorite. By the time we sit down, I'm already flabbergasted and crawl at the delicious ants in front of me. Finally, after dinner, we plan to pounce while thinking about how creepy tonight's meal was. That's good. That's a good one.
That's awesome. You guys are so great. Thank you so much for participating in our silly little story. And yes, I agree. You tough dinner, margaritas served in puppies. It sounds pretty creepy? Not gonna lie, kind of it's fine. But
Yeah,
Aunt Mildred
we're
flunking for jelly beans sounds pretty great. Awesome. Okay. Like I said, feel free to use that resource to play along with your teams or just to kind of check out that workflow a bit more. With that, though, we are going to go ahead and move on into some questions. So let's see here. I'm going to jump over to our Q&A. I've got a couple queued up. You guys are very curious, which I love, but I don't think we're going to have time to answer all of your questions today. So we're going to pull a couple questions, and then what we'll do is actually after this session, we're going to pull all those questions and then make sure that our team gets in touch with you to answer them if we don't answer them on our call today. So let's see. Taking a look here. Ooh, where did I put them? I'm sorry, friends. There we go. So, okay. Here we go. Question for you, Haley. Within your use case, does the approver need to have a FormAssembly license? So if you wanted to use those approver steps, does that approver need to have a FormAssembly license?
Yes. The licenses, because it does log you into FormAssembly from that email and require a license to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that requires a license, and really approvers are just it's a permission set. So just like an auditor or an admin, an approver is a set of permissions that person can do.
Right.
All righty. Let's see. Our next question here. Okay. If in our workflow we have more than one form and more than one PDF, and we want to save them to a Google Drive, can we save all of those multiple PDFs from one Google Drive step? Or do we need multiple connector steps for each PDF?
I believe you would need multiple connector sets, because in the connector configuration, when you choose to send a file, it's just one file that you send. So yeah, you would configure those separately for each file.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. So just like we had like multiple email steps in a row, you would just have each of those as different steps in your workflow. Nice. Awesome. Let's take a look here. Beautiful. Can we at this time edit the email asking for their signature, like the format and text?
Yes, you can. Yep. The e-signature emails are configurable. There is certain copy in the emails, legal things that are at the bottom that cannot be changed, but you can customize the messaging, the subject and the messaging above that. So yes.
Awesome. Easy peasy. Okay. Can a document go to a shared drive as opposed to like a Google Drive, like a specific Google Drive? Can it go to a shared drive?
As long as you have access to that shared drive, yes, you can configure it to go there. Yep.
Awesome. So it'll just show up in your drop down as a
Yes.
as an
Yep.
available destination.
Hmm.
Cool. Nice. Excellent. Looks like we got time for a couple more here. Um let's see. I can take this one. So, can we do reminder emails with the save and resume functionality? So yes, our system, so the way that our save and resume functionality works right now is if you enable save and resume, then when they click save and resume, what happens is it will ask them for their email address, and then it will ask them to create a password. Once they do that, they get the form save confirmation page, and then it sends an email that has, links to continue their form. And then we do have it set to send one reminder email. At this time, there's not a way to customize the timing of that or to have multiple of those. So if you'd like a little bit more customization on sending multiple reminders or things like that, you may need to do that and as part of your post form assembly process, like a Salesforce flow or something. But we do have the ability to send a singular reminder email. And if you'd like to customize that messaging, that can be found in the admin dashboard. So if you go to your admin dashboard and then over into your general settings, there's a save and resume section where you can customize what those messages and emails say.
Okay, I stand corrected. I need to jump in. I forgot about the add action. I didn't show this, but to answer the Google Drive question of connectors, there is an add action button in there. So you could do either way. You could add separate steps, but just to avoid confusion here, you can actually add different actions in one single step. So you could technically add an action again to send a file and send both those files in one step, just to make that clear.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to know that. That's great. Okay, looking here. Can a condition be set up to indicate a form will be sent on a specific date? At this time, not through form assembly, so not through the workflows. That is definitely a highly requested feature. So we'll make sure to put in a feature request for that. However, you can absolutely do that through like a Salesforce flow. So if you're using Salesforce, you can have triggers set up in your Salesforce flow to send a form or a workflow link on a specific date. Well, let's see. Okay, we already answered those.
Oh, I see this one. Does email we set up as part of workflow have limitation in terms of characters? There currently is no limitation of characters on emails. You can comma separate them. For the recipients, you can also use aliases from your form fields. The only thing that is restricted right now is the sender emails for security reasons. They go through an email verification process, and those are just single emails in those fields. But character limit and multiple emails is not restricted for recipients.
Awesome. Well, I think Haley, thank you so much for your help on those questions. Any questions that we did not get to answer today, please note that we will be following up, or a member of our team will be following up to make sure that those get answered for you. We are going to briefly jump into a quick poll asking about your use of workflow. So we're going to hang out just for a minute or two. If you got any additional questions or comments please go ahead and throw them in the Q&A or the chat. And we'll kind of keep going from there. Awesome. That's going to show up for you guys. Thank you so much for your participation. It would have been really awkward and sad if you guys weren't throwing words into the chat. So thank you so much for participating. And hopefully we'll be able to do kind of more interactive type demos like this in the future to really kind of showcase these features. So if you like that, make sure to throw that in the chat. And we'll give you just a couple more seconds to fill out that poll. But definitely if you're interested in or got excited about the multiple e-signature or document generation or those more advanced features, definitely tune in to our next session. That being said, we've got those additional resources for you. This recording will be sent over. You've got additional resources. Go play, go have fun with your forms. They don't have to be serious. They can be fun, but they can also really, really impact your processes and automate a lot of your work. So thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you get up, stretch, do a jumping jack, get a refill on your drinks, and get excited for your next session. We appreciate you guys very much. Thanks.
Thanks all. Bye.